Okay, so now that's there. So in other words, these are the classes. Every month I do a different class. So if you're interested, just keep an eye on the Facebook post. But I also want to let you know that this is sponsored by, obviously, anybody spending time and effort. And I usually do these live, so we have a room downtown. I wanted to let you know some of the sponsors that help make this happen. One is score.org. And if you're not familiar with it, it's a great organization. I'll tell you more about it at the end, but it's gives free mentoring. There's free training, and I'm part of a volunteer group with that. This is part of some of the free training they do, and also 712 Innovations. Obviously, we're using their space. If you got an email from SCORE or 712, that's one of the ways they sponsor and promote this, because it's just about business owners getting better. And honestly, I own several businesses, so I also sponsor this because it's my time and anything. I apologize if I'm cutting out. I'm okay. But of course, these are some of my businesses as far as Kansas Business Solutions, which is consulting, No Worry Website, which is website design and maintenance. And I have a hosting channel, and actually I'm developing an entire business growth collection of all the training I do, as well as other people in the area. So right now we're going to talk about video marketing, and we're almost on schedule. Anybody who knows me knows I can get off schedule a little bit. If you have a question, just speak up in the chat or over online. Feel free to drop in and introduce. But after about 20 minutes, we're going to totally open it up for questions and specific things on your business. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Pam Billups. I own Kansas Business Solutions, born and raised in Kansas, and I have an engineering degree, so that means I'm slightly good at statistics and math. And I have a black belt, Lean Six Sigma. If anybody knows anything about that, it's a corporate term. But I've been an entrepreneur ever since I was a kid, realizing garden seeds, you could buy a pack of seeds for 50 cents and sell watermelons for a lot more. And I have a grandfather that was into real estate, so I owned real estate. I flipped houses. I've had a retail store. I've done online businesses, and yeah, honestly, I found online businesses is a lot less cost intensive. So that's been my area lately, but therefore I do business consulting. But one of the reasons I teach and train digital marketing is because it's one of the most efficient ways to get your information out there with not a whole lot of expertise, because you're leveraging technology. So you can be omnipresent, you can put it out. A lot of people think of Facebook or YouTube when they think of video marketing, but there's actually 100 different places that you could leverage a single video to market your business. And we'll talk through some of that. But I wanted to go into the why we're doing this training is because every business, I don't care what you're in, service, product, hotels, we all need customers. We all need prospects. We all need to grow, because if we're not growing, we know where that goes. And then we all have reasons why. Right now, one of the biggest roadblocks is this COVID-19 issue. It's a huge roadblock, but as I know Eric mentioned, he's using this time to educate himself and see different ways. I've seen a lot of business owners that have changed some of their business model and use this roadblock as a launching point for an entire new product revenue line. And honestly, coming out of this, that may be a bigger revenue generator than her original product line. So it's really interesting. You just got to be very creative. Every business suffers from this. Every business needs new customers. Everybody needs continued customers, but honestly, you need to feel connected. Anybody who's your customer wants to connect with you, wants to actually like you beyond just the product or service. But we need people coming in the door, phones to ring, and there's only 4 ways to grow your business. And video marketing is so powerful to do all 4 of these. And bottom line, if you're just starting out, you need number 1, you need that customer acquisition. You need that initial customer, you need those initial purchases. Once you have some of those, you need customer retention. And if anybody knows or has been in business for a while, this is the most expensive part of getting a customer. Once you have a customer, retaining them is not as expensive, but a lot of people forget this. A lot of people forget to keep that connection established. So the 4 ways, these are levers to increase your profitability. You get more customers, you get those customers to stay, you increase the spending of those customers. In other words, they buy more. It's a whole impulse checkout line at Dillon's or something. When you have those things, is people always are buying an extra pack of gum. You want to have things that they can buy more from you. If they're buying something from you, they'll buy more if they like and trust you. But also one of the most powerful things, and it's in one of my entire months of training, is increasing referrals. So getting the customers that you have to tell their friends. And again, there's ways you can do that in the video strategy. This is the reasons we all struggle. I hear people argue this. Whenever I hear people complain about their competition, and I've heard it a lot, and it's frustrating to me because when you're spending time complaining, you're not doing. You're looking at the lack. You're not looking at the opportunity. There's always an opportunity. Typically, the more your competition is, it usually means the more ineffective your marketing is. And that is coupled with the fact technology is changing all the time. And honestly, we all have only 24 hours in a day. And I don't know about you guys, I like to sleep, in theory, 8 hours of that. But I also have 3 kids and family, and I like to spend some time with them. But time is the only resource we all have in common. Some of us have more money, some of us have more connections, but we all have the same amount of time. And the good thing about video marketing, again, with so many channels, you can use it over and over. I know, what was it? Sorry, was it Jackie who was just saying you did training with video? Every time you create something that you can use over and over again, that's time you save. And so video can make your time incredibly leveraged. So I know on that training, I discussed it with another client, is besides it should be documented, if you can create a video and documentation, you can save yourself hours and hours and hours and days of training a new employee. And if it's incredibly important. So with that being said, sorry, I'm finding my slide again. Video marketing can kind of help overcome all those barriers. I do want to say, and of course I do a month on each one of these, video marketing is just one leg. Your marketing, especially on digital, should be like a bicycle wheel, spokes on a wheel. Think of it that way. And so if you have a website, should be one of your wheels, content. So what you're putting out there, social media should be one leg of your wheel. One of the things I've realized, especially with people on Facebook, where Facebook's their only marketing, when Facebook does a change or decides they don't like some of your content, they can take it off. I know so many people who've done really amazing videos, but they had the radio playing in the background and Facebook took it off. And that was the only place they had that video. They spent a lot of time on it. So if that's your only wheel, it's kind of like trying to do a bicycle with only one spoke. Your business is much more established and structured the more areas you're marketing in. Definitely email marketing, reputation, local, all these things. Every time you add a layer, you protect your business, and you more than double. Actually, adding another layer can more than double your marketing effort. So again, the video marketing is one layer of this, but it's an extremely powerful layer. Again, social media and other things should go into your business or into an offer, or preferably your website. Anybody who knows me knows that the center part of your business should be your website. And video marketing is just one component. But of course, video marketing can go into webinars. It can go podcast can be switched into it. So let's talk about video marketing and why it's a priority. And of course, these numbers are much higher than they are in this folder or in this slide, because right now, I think the video marketing or the online avenue has almost doubled. If anybody's seen the viewing hours on Netflix during this COVID thing, it's very interesting. A lot of the social trends and things as far as search terms online have changed dramatically. Somebody mentioned that Netflix has an amazing platform because subscriptions and viewership has increased, and they haven't done any discounts, they haven't done any modeling, they haven't done any promotions. And it's because of the work they did a long time ago in that. And that's a whole nother business model because it's membership based. And if anybody knows me, that's a really powerful model for any business to sustain your income and have that be a regular thing. But video marketing, if anybody, who here hasn't watched a YouTube video in the last week? Or let's raise a hands, who's watched a YouTube video in the last week or in the last 24 hours? Yeah. I mean, you know, we're all watching video and we're all doing it for only two reasons. There's only two reasons we watch any videos. It's to be educated or be entertained. That's really all we're doing. We either want to see a cute cat fall off a couch or jump into a wall or something like that. I got stuck on one of those series one time, or we're looking to be entertained or motivated. I know I watched a Gary V one the other day because, you know, mindset wise, I just needed a boost, and he's got so much energy when he talks. There's always that motivation behind it, but we're watching a lot more videos. The biggest thing about video, besides the fact that it's so important nowadays, is it's 50 times easier to get ranked page one with a video than it is with a web page. There is approximately 1 billion web pages put out every day, and maybe 100 million YouTube videos being put out every day. So even though there's, I forget what it is, it's like 100 hours or 500 hours of YouTube videos is getting uploaded to YouTube almost every minute. People are just uploading a ton of video content. But with that being said, there is more web pages being developed. There is about 10% less YouTube channels than websites out there. Actually, maybe even less than that. So if you have a YouTube channel and a website and a Facebook channel, you've actually tripled your exposure in the industry. The other thing is, if you have a video on your web page, people stay on your web page 88% longer if there's a video on that page. And it can be a simple video. It can be a 30-second video. It could be just something that is a product promotional. It could be a picture with some words behind it. I'll tell you an avenue that I just love that I have it, but on that nature, to be able to get, you can make every single blog post a video, and you've just tripled your amount of reach in that, because you can post on YouTube, put it back on your channel, make that page rank up more. And it's just, I'll go through that in the details of the training a little bit. But basically, YouTube and Google, or Google owns YouTube. So if you have a YouTube channel, your website will rank higher if you're using the two together. But I don't have to explain to you how big video marketing is. So at this point, you know, what do? Hopefully I've convinced you that if you don't have a YouTube channel, you should at least be using some video on your Facebook. But I wanted to tell you some really fun, quick, and easy ways to get started. But in digital marketing, I kind of go through this scenario. We have these spokes on the wheel. I want you to make sure you have first things first, because everything you do should point back to one location, and that's your business address. And I can't tell you how many people Their business is on Facebook. Well, and I don't know if you know this, but if you're on a phone and the links to Facebook and you click the link, unless you have your sign-in information in your head, you can't get there. You actually have to go to the YouTube channel to get to that link. So you've just lost 50% of people because they're not going to log in, because you know what? People are lazy and it takes an extra 10 seconds. And I don't know about you, half of us don't have our password like memorized. It's on our desktop memorized, it's on our phone logged in, but we don't necessarily want to log in from another platform. So if your business link on my Google or any of those other things is Facebook, you've actually already lost 50% of possible viewers on there. But if it goes to your website and you have an embedded link for your Facebook feed, they can see it. So you can leverage both platforms together. So if you don't have a website, to me, that's kind of should be the combination of everything, all your channels. SEO. So again, this goes to your website, especially if you're a local business. You need, and that's search engine optimization. Sorry, I always talk in terminology, but to make sure your website's optimized, and it absolutely needs optimized for mobile. So in other words, you need that click to call, you need that click to find address, directions, different things like that. Google My Business can help you out with that. But again, if your website or link on that is a Facebook page, you're just going to lose people if they're not already on a device. Now, desktop, but less than 40% of people are using desktop for any searches nowadays. So it's really important to have everything linked back to a website. So if you haven't got a website set up, to me, that's your first priority prior to a YouTube channel. But then you want to use video marketing. And the two places to use video marketing are the #1 areas, and that's Facebook and YouTube. These are two #1 areas. Now, Instagram is running up there. I've heard TikTok, Snapchat, all of those other things. They're leveraging videos, but you can only do, 5-15 seconds on some of those. But like YouTube TV, IGTV, so Instagram TV, those are all huge channels. For certain places, they're making a lot of money off promoting their product on that video. I've heard Instagram is better for engagement than Facebook, but Facebook is better for community, if that makes sense. So it really depends on what your product or service is. But even like when you talk about gift giving, you could actually just show that product in a video form versus a picture. You can make a picture into any video by doing a zoom and a little bit of music. And it's 10 times more effective than just having a static picture. Especially Facebook advertising, having a video advertisement is more effective. And YouTube, I don't know if anybody does any paid advertisement, but YouTube views, you can get for pennies per view versus Facebook might be dollars per click. So if you have even a small, short YouTube or video ad, it's actually more cost advantage on YouTube. So YouTube advertising is extremely cost effective if your product or service is done with that. I actually think that's more important than social media marketing. Social media can be, has anybody ever felt like they've wasted hours on social media? Raise your hand. Yeah. And you probably feel like you don't know what money or what's the ROI, what's the return on investment for that time. And I don't know about you. Again, time's the most, I don't know, it's kind of that level playing flat platform because we all only have so much. So, I don't care if you're, well, and we all only have so much. We don't know how much we have as far as timeline, but in any given day, we only have 24 hours. So you want to leverage that 24 hours the best. And to me, if I make a 5-minute video, I want that 5 minutes to be put on multiple platforms because I don't want to have to do that 5 minutes again, if it's all possible. Some of this training I've recorded and it's on my Kansas Business Solutions training tab. And all of these 8 workshops are recorded and trained. So if people can't attend, I can just send them the link. and they can get this and all the other information. So it's actually can be more powerful. You can give more information by taking it and recording a video. And this is some training I'm going to do in the next coming weeks or months is email marketing. I call this the money maximizer. If you're not doing it, you're losing money in your business. And then again, having your customers be your biggest advocates are the best. So this is kind of in the digital marketing world. Video should not be your first thing, but it's definitely a very powerful thing and should be linked. If I'm working with a new client, we set up all 4 of these within the first week or 2, because to me, that has to be part of everything. I'm going to get into questions, but I did want to let you know, since this is free workshop, I wanted to let you know how you can support it if you're interested. And then we're going to get into very specific things. But again, score.com, you can sign up for free mentoring. I remember the first time I got a mentor, and I love my mentor. I was wondering what the catch was, because nobody does free mentoring or consulting, but it is truly free. You have people like me that truly love to help people and volunteer their time, and it's pretty amazing. And they have roundtables and workshops every month. So I highly encourage you, if you haven't, and some of you are here because you were on their email list or because you were with us, there's one in every state. So if you move, you can get a new mentor. But definitely sign up and check out. There's a Topeka score.org too. So it's score.org, but then it'll take you to the Topeka site. 712. And of course, again, they have free classes. They have, but one of the things I love about it, besides the fact it's a community of entrepreneurs, is it's free on Wednesdays. So if anybody wants to come and just check it out on Wednesday, you can walk in and use the facility. And that's a really good way to check it out. And of course, if you need anything from me, I offer maintenance plans for less than $1 a day, hosting for less than or around $8 a month. And I have multiple books that I have on Amazon, and multiple training courses and other things. But I've actually got pambillups.com so people can actually find me and what else I do. But next month is talking about email, which again, if you don't have a website, definitely get that first. But email marketing, it's like what you get with coupons and promotions and that kind of stuff from the people you love and trust. And again, this is that repeat or increased spending model of things. So I did want to, I'll open it up for questions, but I did want to give you a quick view of, I'll share my other screen. I just realized I'm not sharing the screen I'm looking at. Let's see, screen 2. This is a YouTube channel that I set up. And if you don't know how to set this up, you really can set it up in 5 minutes. And if you really don't know how to set it up, I can give you the link. I use Fiverr a lot. And it's a great service that you can type in here. A lot of their services are $5 or a different thing. It's a great way to get low cost tech. You got to be careful. Sometimes you'll get bad tech. But for the most part, you can type in here, set up YouTube channel. And for $5, they'll set up your YouTube channel. And you just give them a picture and a link. You can also do this service where it's YouTube animations. And so if you don't know what to put on your YouTube channel, you can start with this. And this is the wonderful thing about this. I'll see if it pulls up real quick. Can you see these videos? Somebody raise your hand if you can see the videos. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm on the right screen. But the cool thing about this is if you just have a logo, you can have somebody make these videos for you for literally $5, and you can have 20 of them. So you could do a different video every time. One of my favorite videos, and let's see. Oh, I'm doing the events. I should pull it up. I always say, and I'm trying to give you options. So like people are like, well, I don't want to be on the video. I want to take away that fear completely as far as you having to be on the video. Here's some videos that I put out on my channel. This is just an adorable one. Again, I had this made, and again, it's just a logo. You can put your information on it. And of course, see your little, those videos that I showed you. You can post those to your thing. I'm trying to think, there was one other video. You can make animated videos, again, very, very affordably. I've done a lot of just whiteboard videos where I've been it. And again, I try not to over concern myself with how I look, because it's about, you know, what content you're giving others. They say that's one of the best tricks as far as teaching and training is if you're worried, if you want more, the people that you're talking to, if you want to give, you're not worried about yourself, if that makes sense. So the more you're wanting to give your audience, the less you're concerned with yourself. Now, I'm not saying hang out in your pajamas, but I'm saying don't worry about that so much. But again, other videos that you can do with just a video behind it and words is something like this. But there's a lot of canned basic videos that you can make off a blog post. I have a service. Oh, I'm trying to think. It's VMO5. I'll see if it. Oh, I'm not going to find it right now. I should have got the link to it. If anybody wants the link, let me know in the chat or email me. But it's a service that's 100% free that you put in the URL of a blog post. So if you wrote an article or something, you can put in the URL and it will take snippets. So like the first sentence of each paragraph, and it'll find a video or an image that matches some keywords in that. And it'll create an entire 30 to 60-second video based on that blog post. And it's completely editable. So you can change the words, you can change the video, but it's 100% free. And I do those a lot with if I write something, I create a short video on it, post it to YouTube, add it to the page because it makes the page rank up. And I have, hundreds of pages that are ranked 1 on Google because they have a video, they have links, they have different things that are strategies to make that website go up. And those are attraction methods for customers, if that makes sense. Now with that, I have a whole bunch of examples I could show you, but I wanted to open it up for questions. Did you have any specific questions? I know I was thinking of Jackie because I've seen a lot of canned and basic videos for like janitorial services and things like that are really quick, easy promotional things where it doesn't have to be you. And I've honestly been told sometimes the worst marketer for a business is the owner. Because sometimes we don't realize. And Shelly, I know we've talked about, just taking a video walkthrough of your property and your things and putting it to a little bit of music. People like to look that, then scroll through a gallery of pictures sometimes. So I'll stop talking for a second because I know I had more to say, but specific questions to your business, Jackie.
Well, mine was specific to the connection between a blog post and a video. I know that, you talked about taking a blog post and creating a video from that. Can you go the other way? Is there a tool? Is there some type of online place where you can get translation of your video into text so that you can post that.
Yes. And actually, both Facebook and YouTube have a translator. I kind of joke that it's a little bit like talk to text because sometimes they don't get it all the way right. So you can't rely on it solely. You have to go back in and edit it, but you can use that as a transcription for your service. So,
okay. You know where that is?
Well, yeah, I'll show you on Facebook. So if we're on Facebook, let's just do a really short one. Oh, I also wanted to let you know, you can do a lot of video editing on your phone. There's an app called InShot, and it's free or very low cost to be able to do what I did in this video. So I did a video on how I got my first 1,000 email subscribers. And it's kind of like your first million's the hardest. Your first 1,000 email subscribers are the hardest. I got my second 1,000 in a week, and it took me a year to get the first 1,000. So again, email marketing can spiral once you figure out what works. But the InShot little app, I mean, it's just a simple app on your phone. If you record a video on your phone, you upload it to this app and you can put the lessons learned. And if you watch, I have little icons and things pop up on here. Let's see. Yeah, I have this little present thing pop up, the little heart, and little fire thing pop up. But it's really good because you can, like, if you're having a sale or a deal, you can put your website address up here or your phone number and the special or promotion down here. So because people will read and watch a video, people like to know the headline and the text. Sometimes they won't read it, but they'll read this. But if you go into here, so I'm going to show you how to get it transcribed both on Facebook or on YouTube. The other thing is, I told you this Fiverr, if you type in transcribe, they charge so much per 30 seconds. So you can send them the video or send them the YouTube and they'll clean it up for you. Again, I don't want to say it's hit or miss, but the lower cost options sometimes are not necessarily native English speaking. So, but it'll still be better than these transcriptions. So if it's a short video, you can get it transcribed with the automated transcriptions. If it's a longer video, you might want to have somebody else clean it up, or it's just going to take longer. But in Facebook, if you go into here as far as edit the video, it brings up these different things. And what you see here is subtitles and closed captioning. So it's their closed captioning feature that you do.
Oh, okay.
So you can write closed captions, but they had, where'd it go? Auto captions right here. So you select the language. So English, I'll just kind of, because it'll run in the background, but see, you can click this little thing that says auto generate. And so people don't, if somebody's, it's really good because a lot of times people watch videos. I know, like at night, if my husband's sleeping and I'm not too tired, if I'm watching a video, I can't play the sound. And I don't want to grab my headphones at night. But if it's got closed caption, I'll just do that. So you click here, auto generate, it auto creates it. And then see right down here, it says review and edit. So to be able to extract this, because it'll give here timestamps, and YouTube's very similar to this. It gives all these timestamps here. To extract it, let's see if I can do it in bulk. Yeah, this won't let me. This is one of those things. It's really good if you have a very low cost employee to do something like this. YouTube, you can pull it off easier, but you can copy and paste these lines and just paste them to, so it's created the words to it, but it's got all these sounds in it. So you have to copy and paste these individually. If you have a YouTube video, I'll have to switch channels. Let's see. So on a YouTube, this is an example of a video I did from a blog post. And it's usually just a minute, but there's no words. It's just music, images, and sounds. And literally, it's the cliff notes to the blog post. But if I wanted to do closed captioning on this, I go into edit video. And again, it's that closed captioning transcribe feature. YouTube's changed their channels, so I apologize if it takes me an extra second to find it. On this, but I love your question as far as, is there a way to do it the other way? Because if you're going to create a video, you might as well create a blog post or standard operating procedures or something like that. Let's see if it, okay. So see right here, it says open transcription or transcript.
Where'd you pull that up from?
If you have a YouTube channel,
yep,
and you're in your channel right here where it allows you to edit, there's 3 dots.
Okay. Gotcha.
So then, and you can actually do this on any video on YouTube. So this is for the hearing impaired, so they can, or the visually impaired, or I'm trying to think, so that they can do a read or copy it. Yeah. So the good thing about the YouTube is you can grab it here, copy this whole thing. And what I've done is open up, you probably can't see my Excel. I'm going to switch screens real quick. But again, it's about, you create one piece of content and being able to use it on multiple platforms.
Yeah. I'll open up one of my videos and see if I can do that.
Yeah, what I was going to show you real quick is if you just paste it into Word, you have to delete all these things and move it around. But if you use, let's see. Sorry, here, hold on. Can you see this Excel sheet? If you paste it in Excel, in this text format, it puts them in 2 different lines. You see that?
Yeah.
So then if you take that and filter it. Sorry, my screen's in the way. And hopefully I'm not going too fast. But you can just segment out those lines with words.
Yeah.
And then copy that into a Word document, and then you don't have to retype it. So it's just a quicker way sometimes to get rid of all those timestamps. But yeah, you don't have to, and then you just kind of got to read through it and make sure it makes sense. So I spent a lot of time on that, but I think it's very valuable if you create video content to be able to reuse it. But was there other questions? I did want to go into just a little bit. If you are doing, oops, better share my screen again. If you are doing YouTube, YouTube has search engine optimization also. YouTube is the 2nd biggest search engine, second only to Google. The thing that I love about YouTube is people go to YouTube to look up how-to videos so much. And you can leverage how-to videos to get people to want to come to your business. And I say that because the natural nature of people are lazy. They want to know how to do something because they want to save money. But then when they realize how much work it is, they're usually more likely to pay somebody. Like I've seen some things where people say how to change the oil in your own car. And I've seen that by auto dealerships. So they'll show you how to change the oil in your own car. But then at the end of the video, they say, if you want to avoid all this, come see us for $19.99. It's great marketing, but it's a how-to video. And it promotes their business, it promotes their expertise, and it actually promotes goodwill. So it's okay to give away your expertise because the likelihood people will use all of it is low. Let me double check in the chat to make sure I think I missed something in the chat. Let's see,
I've got another question whenever you're.
Let me Okay, Robert asked, how much time do you use to edit your videos that you put up? I actually don't spend a lot of time because that's video editing can be a black hole. I'm big on, yes, thank you for putting that in the chat. I'll say it in a minute, but on average, a 2-minute video can take you an hour to edit. So if you make an hour-long video, it can take you an entire day or more. I kind of joke because people see all these YouTube videos that, you know, somebody puts out an hour video every day. People don't realize they spent 8 to 9 hours on that video. 1 hour recording, they may have recorded an hour and a half or 2 hours, or spent 8 hours recording and 20 hours editing. Editing can be a huge expense. And if you have, and that's why honestly, video editors cost a lot of money, because if they're going to put their name on it, they're going to do it right. And so they're going to spend the time and effort and actually use the right resources. Most of my videos, I edit with my phone, InShot, or YouTube's editor. It's got a great editor. I also use a tool called Screenomatic. And again, it's free. If you're not, it's got a free version. It's got a paid version. The paid version is like $19 a year or something that's ridiculously affordable. But it's really good for screen recordings, and it's got a good editor too. You can add music, you can add words and insights. But I will say the videos that I've edited, like I have an hour training on YouTube or on my website. As far as that, there's probably an hour's worth of content. I'm guarantee I've probably spent 8 hours editing for that. So it's almost a 1 to 10 ratio. For every minute you might spend 10 minutes editing. If you do good editing, some of my videos, I don't edit that much because I don't want to spend more time than I spent on the video to create it. So most of my videos I crop. So like this video, I'll crop out the introductions, keep the training, maybe crop out the end. But again, I've had a lot of videos where if you count the number of times I've said and have to crop out all of them, I've spent 20 minutes just cropping out from a video. So it can be a black hole of video editing. So again, having a little bit of humility and not over complicating it is sometimes good. Copy of the sheet. Yes, I am actually going to post in the Facebook event. If everybody, I'm going to do that because I was going to do it. I have an entire worksheet that's a summary of the presentation that I think I can post right into the event on Facebook, so you guys can download it. If I can get that, I think I can do that. If not, shoot me a message or an email and I'll get it. But I think I'm 90% sure I can post that in the chat. Oh, and Kay mentioned Lumen 5 is the tool that I use for turning blog posts into it. Lumen 5, again, it's free to use as long as you don't want the super high quality video. If you want a higher quality video or take their logo off of it, it's got some pretty affordable paid programs, but it saves you tons of time. Literally in 30 seconds, you can create a video from any blog post, download it from their platform, and upload it to YouTube. I will say that's what, not this one was. This one was created with that Lumia 5. But one of the things I want to say is if you use YouTube, make sure you have a title and make sure you have a link back to your website, and preferably link back to the post that's related to it. And it's a great place to leverage all of your other platforms. So if you have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, again, it's using one location and making sure people have it available for multiple locations. But I think one of the things is I use good, bad, or ugly, because Lumia 5 will put their logo at the end of the video. In YouTube's editor, it's always like the last 30 seconds. You can do the edit video and crop out those last 30 or 5 seconds. So like on this video, right at the end is where this Lumia was going to come on. And actually this one, it looks like we didn't quite crop it out. But that's their little logo. We almost got it cropped out. They usually put it up for, but if you use the free version, it has that little make video on the end. Okay, Deanna had to sign off. Thanks so much. Can you add it here? Spreadsheet. Can I add a document, or can I embed a document in the Zoom call? I'll put a link to it on my, and I always hate it because my clients' websites look better than mine. But if you go to Kansas Business Solutions under free downloads, I have that video. So I'll post that link in the chat and post that link rather than post the document. But this is where you can just go ahead and actually get some of the downloads for all of my trainings. I always call it the cheat sheets or cliff notes. Of course, it's not the details and doesn't answer the questions. But let's see where the email marketing, where is it? Is there more? Oh, the next. Video marketing. There we go. So I'm going to put that in the chat just in case you want that sheet. It's just the checklist of Lumia 5. It's LUMEN. It's in the chat up here. I'll just put it down at the bottom. Again, it's just a great resource. I also, and of course I don't have it on my website, but I have a list of 34 free resources that all business can get. I know the video one is on one of those. The thing I love about YouTube is it's 100% free, and let it market for you. Again, you don't have to be the one on video. There's a lot of resources that you can just show images, you can just show words, you can give text. But Jackie, I love the fact you're doing training, and I apologize. What was your other question? Did I answer it? Or did...
The other question I had was very specific about, you talked about contacting Fiverr about getting like your logo transitioned into kind of a video, a moving format, and then connecting that to your web page. So then do you have a YouTube video embedded on your web page that's just your logo moving, or do you take that and put that at the top of your web page? So instead of just having your logo, it's kind of a moving logo.
Yeah, you can put it at the top of your page or behind your header. I'm trying to think, let's see, on On a couple of my business websites that I manage, we have like a video that's kind of going on behind their, headline.
Yeah.
And that would work out because you can make it rotate through or different things like that. Most of those logos are intended for intros or outros. So the other thing is, oh, I forgot to say this. I want to share the screen again on YouTube about intros and outros. Let's see, where's share the screen 2. Let's see if you look at this, you see how this pulls up. It's not a video, but it's a movement of an image.
Yeah.
That can be really useful. But as far as in YouTube, in their video editor is incredibly powerful. But again, I like Screen-O-Matic. It's a online platform. Again, free version. I used that for years before I played around more.
Is Screen-O-Matic a phone app or like
no? It's a desktop.
Okay.
But it's specifically designed to record your screen. So it's great for presentations like this where you have a PowerPoint and you're talking over it. Or I use it a lot when my clients have a website question and I fix it, but I record my fix so they know what I did.
Okay.
So if they say, can you add a button for this? Or how do you add a button? I'll say, well, I'll just do it, but record it. So if you want to add that to another page, you know exactly how to do it. But I do a lot of things like you do as far as for my virtual assistants and things is I record training so that I never have to explain myself twice. They can just rewind it.
Yeah.
But on this editor, you can see this on the editor. If you go in to edit this video, one of the most important things I think in a YouTube video, besides those other things we talked about, is adding in intros and outros. So where's the thing on this? Okay, in the details. Okay, so this little end screen is really important. Now YouTube's changed a little bit of their functionality so that you have to have at least 100 subscribers, maybe it's 1,000, before they'll allow you to connect your website, because they don't want people who just create a website yesterday and don't have any followings to overuse their platform. But at the end of every video, you can put different little things on it. So like on this one, I can put 4 or 5 things. So I can say subscribe, show outline on hover over, and it'll go at the last 15 seconds of the video. It automatically puts in. So it puts like a subscribe button here, a link to the website here, and a link to the next video here. So when you're playing the video, and the nice thing is about it, you can move them around. So you can make it shorter, like this one pops up first, this one pops up second, this one pops up third. So when you play it, it kind of, let's see. So they kind of pop up, but then people can click directly on that and subscribe, or click directly on this and go to your website. And you can make this image whatever you want. You say, click here for a special, and it can go to a page on your website or your overall website to actually promote that. But again, so if you're 50 seconds out, it's completely blank. One of the things I like about this is if it's in the way of like words or text you have, like if this was in the way, I can take this and move it up to this corner. So like if your subscribe button, like if you have text over, this one works out good because it's over on this side. But if your text is over on this side, you might want it this way, if that makes sense. So you can move these around, but these are kind of just standard icons, and you can decide what images and colors and what the next video. So you can have the most popular video or the next video, or a video in a playlist or something like that. But I think these two things at this point, like you can add an element. And you won't be able to do the subscribe or the link to your website if you don't have enough viewers or subscribers. And it's just because YouTube's changed, they always change their platform. But didn't want to take too much of your time. I always kind of stay on the line for an extra half hour if you guys have more questions specific. But if you got to go, I know there's a few people that had to leave already, so I don't want to make people feel like they have to stay if you got to get around. But I'll hang around. If you have more questions, I'd love to hear them. So who's gonna set up a YouTube channel after this? Jackie, I know you have one, but if you don't have one, I did want to tell you, it's really not that hard. Well, shouldn't say that. I've done a lot of them. Again, you can pay somebody really quickly to do one, or contact me afterward. I'll give you a specific link. But these are all the YouTube channels I manage, and you can have somebody else help manage a channel. So this is really good. So if you have a channel and you work with somebody like me, you can have, let's see, over here on the admin and settings, you can add people or admins to help you out with it. That way you don't have to feel like I got to figure this all out. So I have a lot of my clients that I'll go in and I'll add the SEO or the description to their video, or do the transcribe after they've made it, and or do the thumbnail. Thumbnails are really important because the better the first image is, YouTube picks a thumbnail, but you can change it. So something like this, YouTube picked that thumbnail on it. So how I can change that, and again, you don't necessarily have this if you've just created the channel, but I can create a thumbnail and update it. Canva's the best platform to create simple graphics. They have some templates that are real simple. Or it grabs slides from your video, and you can just pick any one of these. It grabs one by default. I will say sometimes I go on here and I'm like, why would it grab that one? Or it really is good if you're on camera, because it always picks the worst picture of you when it picks an image. So I know I probably have a few on here where I'm on, and I've always gone in and either put a thing on top of it or not. Like something like this, the wording's not really showing up well. I can just pick a different image. Like this, there's no words on it. It's just people. That's terrible thumbnail because people are very visually inclined. And if I go thumbnail, these are the choices I have. And since this is about a grocery list, I think it's better to have a picture of here. So there, I just changed the thumbnail. Now, when you're going on YouTube, it'll have that. I could put a custom thumbnail on there, or I could just pick a video. That's the quickest way to get a thumbnail on there.
I do have a question.
Sure.
Just to kind of dumb it all down a little bit, I have a YouTube channel, but I have really hesitated to produce videos and post them anywhere other than like just a really easy training video for an employee, like something to put out there for a client or something like that needs to be a little bit more rehearsed or polished or thought out. I've already, even just with my super easy, unedited training videos, gotten lost in black holes trying to figure out how to edit and given up because I couldn't find a way, so I have kind of a fear or a hesitancy to get started. And there's so much editing stuff that you've talked about that's like, oh my gosh, the learning curves, it just gets taller. Where do I just begin with really super basic, simple editing of a video to get it posted?
Well, if you, like I said, on these videos, and the question before is how much time do you spend? I'm talking about like super, super polished. I I don't think the world today is super polished. I mean, look online. We're all looking at people's kitchens, bathrooms, kids climbing on them or getting in the camera. I think we're so much less receptive to polished videos. So don't feel like it has to be overdone. Now, if you're doing a
Yeah.
TV commercial, you can do that. But YouTube, people kind of expect a little bit more of not a homemade feel if it's a business professional, but they don't expect a commercial quality thing. So don't overthink it.
Yeah.
But seeing their video editing options, the good thing about this is I do a lot of like trimming the front and the back end. So the one of the things that they say, if you're, especially if you're on camera, try to do it in one take. If you mess up, just clap your hands and start over and keep the video running. Because you can upload it in YouTube and take, especially if you do the whole clap your hands thing, you actually get a spike in the sound. That's why they do it. And so you can go in here and click and trim, and you can actually click here and split, and then you can cut out like this section.
Oh.
So if you have those ums, or you have like one of those moments where you just need a moment to breathe, you can just crop it out.
How did you get to that crop? How did you crop that?
If when you're here, I'm gonna clear all. So if you're in the YouTube editor, you can do this in Screen-O-Matic too. It's a very simple editor also. But if you're in the editor, if you want to split some area that you just click on that area, and you can play the video and you say, ooh, I want to take that out. So you can pause it, click trim, and just trim wherever you want to. You hit split. And then you can split that video up into two videos. And then if you want to save that, then you just hit save up here. And but you can preview it. So it'll preview that play mode with that being missing. So you'll know that you actually caught it at the good times. But sometimes I'll play it and I'll watch the timestamp and I'll be like, okay, from 24 to 26, I want to take out.
Yeah. All right.
But you don't have to worry about that, because unless you go up here and click save, you can't mess up.
Yeah.
But again, it can be a black hole. You don't want to spend a ton of time on it. And I
know
over my ums and buts, because
yeah, I'm not worried about that. But
it's the overall message and content. But I wouldn't worry overly on a YouTube channel or on your blog or website being overly polished, because you're mainly just a local business, correct?
Yeah.
People do not expect really high. And so if you're doing anything, you're doing more than your competitors.
Yeah.
So, don't put so much pressure on yourself to have this super professional image. Now, if it's a TV commercial, that may be a different thing, but you've seen tons of businesses get tons of business off of bad TV commercials.
Yeah.
Where you're like, they should have spent a little more money on that one. But on a YouTube channel or on a blog, I think you give yourself a break. And actually, my joke is I've made money off a really ugly website, and I've made sales off a really ugly video. But it's the product or the service behind it and the trust and relationship you build before and after. Because if you're trying to sell off a video or do training off a video, it's the content. I'm big on, not quantity over quality, but there is a level of quality where it's too much work to get to that higher level sometimes. I always say 95%, I'm going to call it good. Because that 100% is where it takes hours.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess I'm big on, taking action versus taking perfect action. And so many people get hung up in, making it better. But honestly, if nobody else is doing it, you're already better.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I have another question.
Sure. I love it.
is there, like, I'm going to use my phone. Like, I've been just using my phone to do videos because a lot of my training videos and stuff, I'm already out in the field. I'm training somebody at it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, hey, video this. And so I'm using a phone or whatever. I'd kind of like to think ahead a little better. And is there any equipment that you're using or that you've seen people use that's helpful, like tripods or little anything?
Yeah, I actually, I don't have my phone tripod. I have well, I got it in the other room. I just have a little stand for my phone that can go on a desktop or can go 3 or 4 feet. Sometimes I'll just put it in a chair, but it's more for stabilization. Your phone is a great tool. It's actually, it's got incredible audio quality at even a distance. If you're in a room like you, I'm not, if you're facing a window, you have great light where you're at right now. But if you're not facing a window, having a light like this is incredibly important. It's got a dimmer, so it's got different settings, but you know, it can take out shadows and things like that. If you're outdoors, you just don't want the shadowing halfway on your face. But there's equipment like the three lights with the umbrellas and things like that. I never get it out because I haven't felt the need to. Again, I'm more about if it's going to take me a half hour to set up and I'm only going to talk for 15 minutes, what's more important time in my day?
Yeah.
It's the 15 minutes of recording. So a good quality mic is most important. If you're using your phone, it's got a really good quality mic. You might want to have your earbuds on if you're recording it directly. I use something called a snowball if I'm doing my desktop recording because my audio quality directly from my computer is terrible. So if you have good audio recording from your computer or your phone, that's great. If you don't, but I have, actually I have another lamp that I just have, but again, you know, this probably makes me look more tan, but it creates more shadows too. Not that it's best, but again, if anybody knows me, Shelly, you know, I'm not about that perfection because that's exhausting. I got 3 teenagers. It's never going to happen. They remind me all the time. But that's some of the equipment I use. I have more equipment than I use. But a lot of times a good tripod that's just got a phone attachment is really all you need as long as you have good natural light. If you don't have good natural light, it might be good to have some additional lighting. So light quality and audio quality is the most important. I think audio is more important than light because if people can't hear you, it doesn't matter what you're doing and or if there's a lot of background noise. So good audio is really important. Good lighting, if it's on you, is really important. But you know, having the right equipment. Like I said, I love your background. I actually got a spot in my behind me that's in front of a window. It's got a clean background and different things. So if I'm doing a recording that I'm on my phone, that's oops, dropped it. If I'm on my phone, that's where I record. But if I'm on my computer, I don't want to drag it all the way over there. So we just kind of get stuck with the background we have sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's not overly busy. I do find if you have something where it's a really busy or ugly background, it's not so good. I will say there's a lot of tips and techniques on the angle. Like your best angle with your phone is you want to be just a little bit above looking down because otherwise people are looking up your nose. Nobody wants to do that. And honestly, if you have a straight shot, we all have that little chin stuff that we are, you know, if you're looking up a little bit, it smooths this out. Everybody, I don't care if you're 20 years old or 80. If you're looking up a little bit, it smooths this out. It actually kind of elongates things. But when you're looking down, not a pretty picture for any of us. Maybe you. You guys are gorgeous, but But that's just the best angle. I've also been told, not the power pose, but don't cross your arms. And honestly, like if you're just talking, your hands on your hips or, to the side or something. Sometimes we don't think about that, but if you cross your arms or different things like that, it has that closed off perception. And again, anytime you're on camera, you want to have that open, personality. So Eric, are you going to do a YouTube channel?
Not yet. Not yet.
I think your business is kind of perfect for it. Actually, I think you'd be surprised. It's one of those things. I know you even do things outside the local, so it may not feel like it, but you could have a lot more fun than you're probably thinking.
Okay. Gotcha.
I can tell you some ideas, but no, again, it is the most shared, most watched resource out there, especially for training, because I know you have employees. Like Jackie was saying, is just even for training and materials and going over what needs done, it saves so much time. So
good deal.
I'm all about saving time. I kind of like to sleep and spend with my family. And I know, Shelly, we've talked about, how much time it takes to mow and maintain. You got to get that done too. Well, if there's no other questions, I'll sign off. Thank you so much for coming. It does definitely, I value your time. So I know this was an investment to learn something. Did everybody learn at least one thing that they feel like, whether they're going to use or not, they might tell somebody else?
Yeah,
Definitely.
for sure.
Yes.
So that's.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Pam.
Thank you, Pam.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming. Like I said, I love seeing your smiles and beautiful face. And honestly, it fills my soul to be around other smart business owners. So thank you.
Have a good weekend.
All right.
You have a great weekend. Stay healthy and safe.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.
See ya.
See ya. Oh, Shelly, let's see. You wrote something in the chat. I wanted to.
Yeah, I just thought we should probably schedule another meeting. I don't know. It would help.
Yeah, were you talking about the contact? You said contact clearance?
Oh, I just have so many weird things that I'm just so far behind because I don't even know how to get my like my business cards to email, to have an email list. I mean, I haven't done any of that kind of thing. So,
Okay.
And I don't know if I need to separate them by businesses and individuals, have separate categories to try to target.
Yeah.
For work retreats, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you can do that all within an email system.
Yeah.
So
I just need somebody to kind of sit down and show me how to do it, and I'll have to have a list so I know how to do it by myself and that kind of.
One of the big suggestions I get on you is get on somebody else's email list and steal all their ideas. Because and think more of the big ones. So like, and I don't want to say locally. I actually, when I steal ideas from other people, I always look at somebody in Texas or California, or somebody that I'll never run into.
Yeah.
But that's doing more business or better business than me.
Yeah.
And I just I don't copy and paste anybody's, but I take what they're doing, like, how often they're emailing. What are they emailing? Are they emailing promotions or information?
Yeah.
And so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So
right.
I always have like, do you have Gmail, right?
I
actually created a folder that's I call benchmark. in there. So if I sign up to a newsletter for somebody that I'm following because they're doing what I want to be doing,
Mm-hmm.
I label it as benchmark.
Okay.
So that like I can go through and say, oh yeah, that was a really smart newsletter idea, or that was a really smart promotion, or different things like that.
Okay. So my folder's going to be where? In Gmail or
Well,
where?
in Gmail, just make it as a label.
Okay.
And if you want, you can make it bypass the inbox. So you only have to look at it when you're interested, because you're really doing it to learn best practices. And that's why I
Yeah.
say, find somebody that you already see, respect, that you know they have a newsletter, you know they communicate regularly, that you want to emulate, and start collecting their information. I actually just was watching somebody because I'm creating a business like mentor platform and different things like that. And she emails a lot, but I've been following her for years because it's not like rude, or, I mean, she has good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, I don't know if I want to email people every day, but the way she emails doesn't feel salesy.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of reading through how she does it, because it's like, usually people, if every email's selling me something, I unsubscribe.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for some reason, something about this lady's product or service, or I bought a few things she's done, is like, I'm actually curious as to see what she comes out with every next month.
Yeah.
So again, her wording and her style and the way she comes across, I like that, and I kind of want to emulate it. So I'm using that as a benchmark for how I'm creating emails.
Yeah. Well, I've got a whole box full of business cards, as you know, that I've collected over the last 4 or 5 years. And it's just like, okay, now what do I do with these? I mean, I'm not really, I've got a few that I pull out when I need a service.
Yeah.
I want to get some bids and that kind of thing. But other than that, I'm not really using them. And I just wonder, how can I enhance my business by utilizing those that have shared their business with me?
Well, I will say I've got a thing, it's called Camcard.
Uh-huh.
And it's
and you copy it onto your phone?
it's an app.
Yeah.
You can have a paid version, or the free version, you can have up to like 2,000 contacts. But
Okay.
you scan the business card.
Yeah.
And double check that the information's right.
Uh-huh.
But then throw away the business card, because you can click and call.
See, that's the kind of thing I need help with, is just somebody to show me how to do it, and then me to do it.
But then you can categorize it based on, caterer, other things.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be great.
It's an easier way to manage contacts in today's day and age.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I needed. And then I have a blog, and I was thinking during your presentation that I'm not real sure even how to get to my blog anymore, because it was set up for me 8 years ago.
Okay.
By the economic development person in Wabunsee County, before I even knew what I was really doing with my business.
Okay.
So I haven't utilized it, and it was basically when my business was still kind of a dream. So I just wondered if I should, I'm sure it's still out there, but it's not really appropriate anymore. So should I try to update that blog, or should I just create a new blog, or what do you think I should do?
Do you have content on it?
Well, it was basically off of my first brochure. So it was, again, just kind of a dreamy concept of what we are going to be rather than what we are now, kind of thing.
Okay, so basically, it doesn't have value today.
Right. It's outdated.
Okay.
So
if you're going to have to redo so much of it anyway, I just start over, because you have the blog capability on your website.
Okay. So, blog on website. Okay.
Yeah. And do you do most of your writing in like Word or on the computer, or?
Word, probably. Yeah.